So today I'm putting a stand for a tablet. I'm using white PLA instead of the clear that I was using yesterday. It's kind of subtle, but I'm having a little problem where the left side of the bed is slightly, I guess, slightly higher than the right side, very slightly. And the auto-calibration does not seem to be accurate enough to pick that difference up. But it does show up in the print with a very slight crunching, I guess, of the first couple of layers on the left side. It's probably just me being very picky about calibration and stuff, and it's not really an issue because the result. This is the second leg. Here's the first that I printed earlier, and you can see this is the part that was getting crunched. I don't know how easy it is to make that out, but it looks pretty good. You're definitely not going to be able to see, I can't even get it to focus on that, but the first couple layers are a little iffy, but once the weight of the plastic starts to crush them together, it gets a lot smoother, and gives a better result. Also, I've noticed that the white PLA, due to the fact that it's not clear, hides the interior layers of not really solidness. It makes a nicer looking product. Also, it doesn't show off the layers quite as much as the clear kind does, I've noticed. Probably just because the way the light doesn't refract through the side of the material. So I think I like the output from the solid color material better. Of course, now I want to get a bigger bed because I had to slightly resize these things. Also, I want to be able to print ABS, so I'm probably going to get the XL upgrade pretty soon and a heated bed for it, so that I can print with ABS and I can have a little bit more horizontal build area to work with. It doesn't seem like it upgrades the vertical, or the, I guess, the Y-axis. Also, I desperately need a spool stand because I'm having to feed it manually. I guess desperately is the wrong word, but I need a spool stand because feeding it manually means I have to babysit the thing the whole time, and these prints can take a little while, so it's a little silly that I didn't think of that and get one ahead of time. But whatever. So I tried a couple different things to resolve the problem with the left side being slightly higher, including, you know, going over all the screws and bolts and such and tightening them down. And I found one that I forgot, which isn't surprising. I mean, I found several that I forgot the first day too. So I corrected that. It did actually improve the flatness ever so slightly, but it's still off a bit. But like I said, not a huge deal. The result is still quite good, particularly for a printer of this price. I can highly recommend this. And I also suggest you get the kind that you actually have to build yourself, because you learn so much about how they work putting it together. I'm really glad I did that, even if I end up buying a assembled kit in the future with some other model or whatever. I had the experience that was somewhat arduous of putting this together and learning about the various pieces and how they all fit, and some of the interesting cost-cutting measures that the designer of this made in order to keep the price as low as possible. The most, I guess, disconcerting to me is the way these bearings are mounted. I'm kind of surprised that it doesn't hurt the print quality as much as I expected, because, well, first of all, I tightened them down quite a bit from the first day. Before I printed the first time, there was a very noticeable sag when it was all the way extended out. due to the weight of the extruder head. But after making some adjustments and tightening those zip ties really tight, as the I saw some advice on the forums to do that using pliers, which I probably should have thought of. And you can see, well, maybe you can't, but there are little tails of all the zip ties that I pulled out, because I cut them, of course, before I did this, so it would have been smarter to tighten them before I cut them, but whatever. I never claimed to be smart. So anyways, I resolved most of the sag, but the auto leveler does a good enough job that the rest of it seems to be completely eliminated just by the auto leveler, so I'm really impressed with how that works. Getting it calibrated is kind of annoying because there's no really easy way to lower it and raise it. Yeah, there's like this double nut, you can see there, there's like a double nut around that little piece of wood, and they give you these really kind of silly maybe 2 of these to adjust it, and obviously, a metal tool or something would make it a little easier, but, I mean, they're cute, but they're not all that functional, and they're kind of difficult to use and fit into that tiny little space. But, anyways, it's a little annoying to do that, but once you do it once, I'm assuming it probably won't be necessary to do again, because the tolerances are just not high enough, I guess. You have so little... The resolution is not high enough to notice, like, the difference in over time. I guess maybe I'm wrong, but we'll see as I continue to use it. The other thing that I've noticed, I don't have anything to compare it to, but it seems really fast. I read some reviews that said this was kind of a slower printer, so I can't even imagine what some of the faster ones are like, because I'm pretty impressed with the speed. Alright, so I think I've run out of things to say, so Printrbot Sybil 1405, somewhat badly assembled by me, and somewhat decent results. I'm sure any of the bad result is... Any problems are my fault, not the designs, I'm sure. So hopefully now that I've learned some more, I can, when I have to rebuild it partly with the new bed size and everything, I will do a slightly better job, and maybe I'll install a fix for these. Well, it's not really a fix, a replacement pulley housing that I found on Instructables that let you make it, a little more solid. And I think those should go under here too. So there's some additional pulleys under here that control the bed, or not control it, you know what I mean. Pulleyify the bed. They're not really pulleys, they're bushings? I don't know. I don't know the terminology yet. They're definitely not pulleys, though. I think I've been calling them pulleys all this time, but they're... What are they called? Anyway, before I make more of an idiot of myself, yep, here we go. It's a printer. They're called bearings. I knew that. I really did. I had forgotten the word. I'm sure you believe me. So here I'm printing the bottom of the tablet stand. And I've been tweaking the settings a little bit more, and I think I might have it squishing better. Still a little less on the right than on the left, but I'm not certain that I'm going to be able to solve that, at least for the time being. Also, I made this delightful spool stand out of an old Samsung monitor and a Rock Band drumstick. Seems to be kind of, sort of working. It's not terrible. I have various odds and ends that I was trying to use for the spool. You can see back there the styrofoam. I had it suspended between those two styrofoam bricks. And yeah, that actually caused the print to fail, because while I was upstairs for a few minutes, it caused the spool to jerk, which pulled it out of the extruder injection thingy. And it actually pulled the hard to focus because it moves. And pulled it out of there. Between the bearing and the gear. Anyway, I've spent long enough trying to explain that simple concept. So, yep, it's the stand. It's the bottom. Here are the other parts. Not the screwdriver. That's not printed. They're very exciting. Of course, I wasn't paying attention and I printed the left side twice, so I have two left, and the big difference is this has an inset. On the right side you can see the inset for the screw head, and so as to not waste the plastic, I'm just not going to bother to reprint it. It'll be a little lopsided, just like me. So that's yet another status update. I'm sure you are thrilled to see this.